Hey, aloha, I'm Michelle Melendez with Blossom Inner Wellness and StandTogetherHawaii.com. And this is also on the Voice of Kona Radio 100.5 FM. This is going to be on gun control, or is this a possible attack on and then I want to say after that, the Second Amendment, because our forefathers believed the Second Amendment should be the right to bear arms. That is exactly what first free speech and then Second Amendment. We all know that free speech is definitely being attacked. So I do want to say that. So what I want to show you guys are a few different things. First, I want to show you what the Gun Violence Archive have to say. The Gun Violence Archive, and this is, you can go to gunviolencearchive.org and find this yourself. The deaths, the mass shootings, 2014, 2,272, 2015, 332 these are mass shootings. 2016, 383, 2017, 347. Again, this is mass shootings. And I'm going to go all the way to, and then it went from 2018, 335, 2019, 414, 2020, mass shootings jumped to 610 in 2020. Who got into office in 2020? Very interesting. 689 mass shootings in 2021, 646 in 2022, and 656 in 2023 mass shootings. So what was the difference in from 2019, 414, 2020, 610 mass shootings? So here's the thing, here is very interesting too. This says gun violence in Biden's US sees a sharp escalation. I'm just going to read this sentence here. The Gun Violence Archive, a US gun violence monitoring group, reported that there were over 5,000 more fatal shootings during Joe Biden's first year in office. And this is compared to Donald Trump, but I'm not a Trump person. I think that I think he's there to separate us, to keep us separated. And that's just my thoughts on that. But anyway, 5,000 more fatal shootings. And one thing they don't show you though, let me share with you this part. Defensive gun use. In 2014, there was 1,451 defensive gun use. In 2016, there was 1,991 defensive gun use. In 2017, there was 2,117 defensive gun use. In 2023, 1,187 defensive gun use. So defensive gun use, they don't report on that. So that's really interesting. But I also want to share with you guys, I'm going to go back, these testimonies from what happened on Valentine's Day at the Super Bowl. Now, this is from the Peggy Hall, the Healthy American. And actually, I got to grab my notes here because I have timestamps. But I want to share with you just some very interesting things. Now, if somebody was hurt in these shootings, then my heart goes out to them. But it's very interesting how the media is reporting this. So let's start here with this guy who was there.
For them, I was like, everyone was just running, and we didn't know what was happening. We just ran with those people, and got to our car, drove. They drove me to where my car was, and then I heard it on the.
I'm just gonna fast forward this.
And I think there's a shooting going on, and I was like, dang, all my friends are still down there. And yeah, it's kind of just like a surprising, like,
So Peggy starts laughing, but look at her face too. Look at her face, like, oh yeah, not a big deal. There was just a shooting going on. He's laughing. Peggy Hall starts cracking up. She kind of like smirks, like, oh yeah, a shooting. This is hilarious. Like, really? This is the guy that they're putting on the news?
It was just crazy.
Okay.
And
It-
now Peggy's going to share she's got some really good questions. She always has really good questions to ask about this.
enough of that one. All right. My question is, where do they find these people? It's a serious question. Like, did that guy contact the news and say, hey, I was a witness to nothing. I didn't see anything and I didn't hear anything. And I went to the restroom. He gave us that story quite in some detail. And he thought it was pretty funny. Does he just call up the news and say, I don't have a story to share, so would you interview me?
Yeah, that's a really good point. A really, really good point. So let's check this one out too. And this is over here. This guy and his family got shot and supposedly, and we'll see what he has to say. This is a guy. Yeah, here we go.
Just crazy. We're all still in shock right now.
Yeah.
Not understanding what even happened for real. But I've got to get back to the hospital.
So he says, I have to get back to the hospital. He says, I have to get back to the hospital. But then he says this over here.
Your wife and children now, Mr. Gooch?
My wife is sitting right next to me, and my daughter is in bed. My kids are in bed.
But he said he had to
Oh, sorry.
back to the hospital.
Yeah, so he says he's got to get back to the hospital, but all of his kids are there. So why does he got to get back to the hospital? And then what does he say here? This is a really good point right here.
My wife and daughter saw the gun come out and start shooting.
Okay. hang on. Hang on. He said, my daughter saw the gun come out and start shooting, because that's how it works. You don't need a person to actually operate that bang bang.
So yeah, so that's a really, really good point that she's making. Bring myself over here a little bit. Yeah, it's all about the gun. It's like a knife, right? It was a knife's next. The knife can stab somebody. So the knife just stabs people. So that was always my point when this whole argument was happening started many years ago, because the Second Amendment's pretty important. And what happened when free people don't have a GUN? This is the last part that I want to share.
And as soon as we started walking out, it happened. And I wasn't a good witness. I didn't see anything like that.
So another not good witness. Another not good witness is being interviewed. So these are just questions. Peggy always has really great questions, like why these people. This guy supposedly, I didn't show you, but he actually got shot in the ankle, and this was a day or something afterwards. So a lot of questions about that. They are definitely fear. It gets people to disregard their freedom because people don't want to be afraid. So mass shooting, let's do more gun control, The bad people aren't going to care. Okay. It's the good people that have a right to defend themselves and own one of these things that are going to be following the law. So you're going to take these things out of the hands of good, freedom loving people. And the bad guys, they're not going to follow the law. They don't care what gun controls you have. They're going to get it no matter what. So who really are you trying to get these out of the hands of? Right? So it's interesting, and I'll leave the links below. I do want to do a shout out again for my sponsor, you guys. Any tax issues, accounting issues, if you want to license your biometric data, if you want to know how to own cryptocurrency with tax-free, go to aceofcoins.com, ACEOFCOINS, aceofcoins.com, and check that out. I also want to just say much mahalo to everybody who has been supporting me. And if you're interested in learning more about your freedom, please go to either blossominnerwellness.com or standtogetherhawaii.com. Join our email list, join the Freedom School. I'm going to be personally taking people through the Freedom School for accountability measures so we can all learn this together, staying accountable with each other and taking actions and taking steps toward freedom. And you can check that out at standtogetherhawaii.com or blossominnerwellness.com and join me once a week live on Zoom I'll answer any questions that you have, and we'll go through it together in an accountability class. All right, let's go ahead and pray. Great Spirit, infinite intelligence of all things. There really is no death. This is just a human vessel, a human vehicle for our soul. And I'm just so grateful for this opportunity called living a human life at this time in history, because we get to watch as things unfold where peace shows up on the planet. We get to watch as the true people who are attacking free, loving, good-hearted people who love each other. The compassion in our hearts, the empathy that we have for each other is real. And I'm just so grateful to just have really good friends and just to know that this freedom and this peace is here for us right now and is growing, 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 growing. I'm so grateful to know that there are people standing up for what is right, not what is easy, but what is right. And we get to watch as those who have done so much harm to people are being peaceably removed from office or voluntarily stepping down. We know that these bills that go against our freedoms are not passing. And this corporation that claims to be is the government, that there's so much light on it and people are seeing it for what it truly is. We get to watch as magic unfolds on the planet to bring us more freedom and more peace and more harmony together. So what would it feel like to wake up with a heart filled with peace and harmony and love for each other, including yourself? What would that feel like? We're so grateful to give that to our children, our grandbabies, our keiki. We get to watch as freedom and peace show up more and more on the planet, as all the darkness is literally melting away, dissolving. And all of those who stand for darkness and murder and violence are no longer in power. We get to watch as peace is what happens, is what the sun shines through. So grateful, Great Spirit. And so it is. Sending you and your ohana much aloha from the Big Island.